What up? What up? What the is up? Welcome back to another edition of If They Only Knew. Ooh. Yeah, all right. We got a crazy one this time and shit, yo. Nobody seen this one coming. I forgot all about this and shit, yo. Little nephew coming through. Brr, 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 brr. Go on and
You know,
introduce yourself.
my name is Anthony, aka Nacho Baby Daddy, aka the Chosen One, aka you already know what it is, aka what's the deal?
Okay, all right, all right, all right.
Yeah,
Anything else? Any other AK? I don't want to miss any. AKA.
aka Mr. Grams.
All right, all right, all right. Now that we got
Okay.
that shit out the way, this one here, this shit is crazy, man. This is a crazy story. All right, so for the people that don't know, give a little background of what your capabilities are, your
All right,
power.
so I was watching your Ouija board video today. I was sitting there just watching, and then I seen the word you were looking for is called clairvoyancy. You c-
Clairvoyant. Yes,
clairvoyant, you know.
clairvoyant.
And I'm like, that's the word I was looking for. My mom was all like, no, you know. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I was just like, Mom, come on, leading them in the wrong direction. So, let me hop on here.
She getting old now. Her mind is growing.
Exactly. So basically, all I know is I feel like as I got older, my little clairvoyancy,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it,
Your
for the people out
abilities.
there, my abilities,
Hmm.
have gotten better and stronger. So like there's times where like I could like see and hear or communicate at times, So at first
Communicate
I didn't really
with.
like I
Communicate
would
with.
say the afterlife,
Okay.
ghosts, spirits.
Well, let's go back to the first time you figured out that you could do this.
To
How
be
did you?
honest, let me see. I can't remember when I first realized it, but
I know your
maybe
mom
it was
seen it in you in the early age.
back when I guess the when we used to live in Alpharetta. I can't remember how old I was. I think I was in like elementary and middle school. We used to have this house, the smallest house in the cul-de-sac with the biggest backyard.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
so
yeah, I love that spot. Yeah.
that house was weird though. But that's when I started realizing I'm like, you know what? I think some weird stuff's going on here. Like I started seeing things. I started having like real bad nightmares. Then I started feeling like I was awake and seeing these things. And that's when I'm like, damn, this shit's like real.
Damn, yeah. So what was the
And
first thing you seen?
like, so the first thing I would see would be like shadows and stuff like that. And then at the time we had a pit bull, and our pit bull, her name was Prada.
Uh-huh.
Like she would always sleep in front of my door or even in my room, but she would always like in the middle of the night growl and look downstairs, but growl viciously.
What the fuck? I'd have moved the fuck out. Okay.
Then one time I had this bad dream. I had this real bad dream, and it felt like it was real, and
Mhm.
like I felt like I was getting choked out in my sleep.
Damn.
And
See?
then I remember reaching for my cross in my room, and like I hear like this dark voice was like, God can't help you now, and stuff like that. And I was like,
So
what? Yeah,
in your
I'm a
dream you
kid.
was reaching for your cross, or in real life you was
No,
reaching
like
for the cross? Like you woke up and you was reaching for your cross, or in your dream you was reaching for the cross?
I'm telling you, like it felt like one of those where like you're not sure if you're dreaming or if you're just
Oh
awake.
my god, yeah.
So I was reaching for my cross then, and I just hear this voice saying, like, He can't save you now. He can't help you.
Whoa.
And that's when I started realizing, like, damn, man, this house is like weird. And then
Yeah.
I had another dream, I think the following night, and in my dream, like I just seen like a bunch of like see-through transparent people, but light. Like they looked like they were in the light, like they were good, and they looked like they were from like the medieval times or something,
What the fuck?
like very old school people. And like they looked at me and were like, you shouldn't be scared. Don't be scared of us. You need to be scared of that. And like in the corner was like this dark shadow and shit like that, like in that house. And that house was weird. I'm telling you, me and my mom found some stuff in the attic. I remember too. Yeah, and that's when I think I realized I'm like, damn, maybe I can start seeing this stuff. You know?
Okay. Shit. Yeah. See, they picked the right motherfuckers. I would have went crazy and shit. Y'all would have been visiting me in the fucking house, mental house and shit, tied up to a wall and shit. Yeah. I
Oh yeah,
can't deal with
trust me.
that shit, yo.
I was scared too, man, because I didn't know like what the hell, and that's when I started getting scared of the dark and shit. And I'm like hell no, because I could see this, I could hear it, and it was always me. It always come to me. I'm like, damn. I felt like it was mostly more bad than good.
So let me ask you this, yo. When was the first time you think you was able to communicate with them? Like, I don't
Mm,
know, through energy or through talk or whatever. Like, you
I
felt like
think
they understood or you understood.
this story that I'm gonna tell.
Okay, well let's jump. This is a motherfucker right here, yo. Like this one, yo. This shit still freaks me the fuck out, yo. Go jumping right into that shit, yo.
All right, so my girl here, she had a friend. Well, it was a really good friend of hers, and her friend was just moving to go be just to be with her dad. She didn't have a good relationship with her dad, so she was gonna go give it a try.
Uh,
She drove out here, I think Kansas, and on her way there, she ended up flipping her car and getting tossed out of it. It was a convertible Mustang, you know. And check this, like I didn't know any of that really. I didn't really know any of that.
you didn't even know the girl. You was just there for support, right?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know the girl at all. Never met her. Never none. Didn't know anything about her. None of that.
How old were
You
you
know.
at that time?
Let me see. That was a few years ago. So I was like maybe like 21,
Okay.
22 maybe.
Okay.
And so I'm like, damn, I'm all consulting, my girl and stuff like that, telling her it's gonna be okay. And then the funeral comes.
Mm.
And she was like, "You want to go?" And I don't really like going to funerals and stuff like that. I was like, I'll go for support. I'm like, I don't even know the girl and stuff like that. So we get to the park and stuff. But I'm feeling okay. I feel perfectly fine. Nothing out of the normal. Because I'm just like, I really don't know the girl. It
Yeah.
sucks. I'm sad. So we try to get spots to sit. Of course, my girl Alex and her friends got the front row seats. I'm like, perfect. I'm like, I don't really need to be up in the front because I don't really know her. I'll let you guys be there and stuff like that.
Mm.
So I'm on the back. And remember, it's an open park, big open park.
Damn.
And all of a sudden, like, I keep on getting like this itch. Like someone keeps on telling me, like go back, like go
So
over
you was
there.
in the back by yourself, and all your friends was in the front.
Yeah, I was in the back of the park, like not nowhere near the funeral part. I was just hot. I'm just like, man, I'm just chilling. And then something just kept on bugging me, like go to the service, like go into the front of the service. And I'm like, nah, there's no space for me. So I just ignore it. And then something just kept on saying like, go. I'm like, damn, all right. So I get there. I go to the front of the service. It's pretty big, very nice service. And I'm on the side, not really around people and stuff like that. And then I started getting dizzy. I started getting like super lightheaded. It was hard for me to breathe and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, man. I'm like, why don't I feel like I'm looking around? Everybody's normal, crying sad. I'm like, I'm the only one feeling like this. And all of a sudden, like, I see this girl just standing there. She looks like a little like extra bright than everybody else, kind of. And I'm just like, oh, it's really nothing. And she's just sitting there, just smiling, like smiling at everybody. In my head, I'm like, why is this girl smiling? Like, that's weird, like, and stuff like that. Then they start doing like a little picture montage of her and shit like that. And then I'm just like, damn, And then the girl that passed away, her mom went up there and started telling a story about her daughter and stuff like that. And then I see that girl or that figure that I said I seen earlier go up behind the mom and like kind of like give her like a hug and stuff like that, like everybody's crying and the girl's just smiling at everybody and stuff like that. Little did I notice after like I stopped getting dizzy and I really just come to it and stuff like that. It's the girl that passed away. It's the girl's name's Melissa. It's the girl. And I'm just like, holy shit, like what the hell? Like that's her. Like I'm not tripping. I'm not seeing like and she knew that I was watching her and she knew that I could see her and it was just weird. She didn't speak to me like words, like talking and stuff like that. It was more of like an eye to eye thing, and like she was already in my head type of thing. It's like it was weird. Like she was for sure like in my head, letting me know like it's me, it's my presence, I'm here,
So you
type of
didn't,
thing.
or was it like you heard a voice, but
So
you just knew it, like you just felt it, or did you like hear the voice, or
yeah,
what's it?
it's hard to say. Like it's almost like you hear somebody's voice, but you kind of hear your own because like I heard somebody's voice. I knew it wasn't mine, but it's like it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
really, it's like I knew it wasn't my voice, but at the end of the day, I'm like in my head, I'm like, was that shit mine? But why would I be thinking that? I didn't know
Yeah,
that
this is
type of thing,
yeah.
So that part's done. I'm like, man, I don't feel good. I'm like, I feel weak. I feel weird. Like I can't breathe and stuff like that. So the reception after the funeral, everybody's gathering around, and I just get this little, kind of like someone's just going like this, like, hey,
Tap.
hey, hey. I'm just like, man, what the hell? I'm around my girl, and I'm like, hey, I'm like, I forgot the boyfriend's name, but I remember I said her boyfriend's name, and I was like, hey, is this person around? And I remember my girlfriend Alex looked at me. She was like, "What? Like, how do you know him?" I'm like, "Man, I gotta talk to him, man. Like, I don't know, man. I just gotta talk to him. Like, I need to meet him. I need to go and talk to him. Like." And I started telling my girl, I'm like, "I think your friend, like, she's in my head. Like, she's like, she wants me to tell the boyfriend, the uncle, and the mom something specifically, you know."
Hmm.
So finally, like, it's hard. I'm searching and searching. And, like, like the girl was kind of like just like pushing me like, hey, right now. No, like we're not waiting right now, right now. So I was kind of getting irritable because like everything was going on. I couldn't get to the people right away, but the girl, she was very persistent. Like, no, we need to do this right now. Like right now, we're doing this. So I finally get to the boyfriend. And I was like, hey man, this shit's gonna sound weird as fuck. But your girlfriend Melissa, she wanted me to tell you that she loves you, and and don't be sad and don't be, it's not your fault. Da, da, da. And I started telling them details about shit that only him and her would know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just looked at me like what the hell? And I'm like, I know it sounds weird, man, but I had to tell you. She wanted me to tell you, and that was that. And he just started, crying and shit like that. So I move on to the uncle because the uncle felt terrible, like it was her, like his fault, type of thing, which it wasn't. So I go to the uncle and I was like, hey, she wanted me to tell you that, it's not your. Bye, man. Have a good one. And she wanted me to tell you that, like it's not your fault. You're like a father to her, that she loved you, and that, she know that you were getting sober and this, and that, because he got sober and she didn't know, you know. And he was just looking at me like, what the hell? Like, who the fuck's this dude telling me this stuff, you know? And then I felt like it started getting, like, weight started getting lifted off my shoulders after I got to the next person. So the final person was the mom. And the mom, I'm like, same thing. I'm like, I know you don't want to hear this. This is the worst time. This is your daughter's funeral. Like, you don't know me. I don't know you. I don't know your daughter. And I let them know that, like, I don't know anything, And I started telling the mom, like, hey, I'm like, Melissa, she had this thing in her room on her dresser and da-da-da-da, where she kept, a certain thing. And boom, little did I know, I was fucking right, dude. Like, I described everything right, basically. And basically,
So was
I
she
had
like
told
showing you images?
yeah, like of her room and like of everything that was going on, like that's how I knew of things.
Mhm.
It wasn't, she was telling me, it's like she was putting the images in my head,
Damn, that's
and it was like when I found out, like, kind of like way she like passed away, it was like I could see it very vivid. I seen everything that happened. I seen how it went down. But anyway, so I get back to her mom, and I'm like, yeah, when you were giving your eulogy about your daughter, like she was behind you and she was hugging you and she was smiling at you. And she just looks at me and, like, starts crying a little bit. And she was like, I know she was there because I felt her behind me. And she was kind of clairvoyant as well.
Damn.
So that's when made me realize, like, oh shit, like I'm not bullshitting. This is real. Like,
Yeah.
So like I handled all that, and I'm not gonna lie, she stuck with me for maybe like a couple weeks to a month after that.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't like let. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it was weird. It's like she was like connected with me. Like there would be times where, like, they were talking about stuff and I could just see, like, in her room, and like how things were, what happened. And
So
like,
you talk about like the group you was with would be talking about a memory about her, and you would see.
yeah, or like my girlfriend Alex would be talking about like a memory that she had with her, and like I could just picture that shit like vividly, or like, and it got to a point where like I felt like she wouldn't leave my head or wouldn't get out of my head. It's like the weirdest thing. This doesn't sound weird, okay, but this is how I felt, because I never felt anything like that. I felt like I never let a ghost in like that because I didn't let her in. It's like she went in herself,
Damn.
you know, and it got to a point where it felt like she was trying to make me like be a part of her. Like it was weird. It's like images of her kept on popping up in my head and stuff like that. It was like
So she was like trying to take over you.
the best way I could put it is like she was trying to get me to like her or like to maybe love her or something.
Oh shit, yeah.
Like I didn't know her like that, you know. But over after time, that started getting less and less and less. You know, but I could maybe take it like maybe it wasn't that. Maybe she was trying to, wasn't done passing over. It was weird, you know. Like I wasn't too sure. It was the first time something like that's ever happened.
Damn, that's fucking crazy, yo.
You know, and sometimes I remember the chick's mom wanted me to go over to her house to see if I felt anything and stuff like that. You know, because I remember, yeah, when it was fresh, if she was there, like I knew her. It's like almost just like I knew like everything about her without knowing her.
That's
You know,
crazy.
seeing
Yo.
what she looked like without
That's
really
like
like ever meeting her. You know, like how she passed away without really knowing. It was weird. It's like me and her were connected without knowing each other.
that's crazy, yo. That's crazy. Do you? I mean, so you said you seen her death? You saying you seen what went down?
Like the way she like her car accident, the way
Yeah.
everything happened. Yeah, like I seen what happened vividly.
Like from her point of view, or did you see it like as a whole?
I seen it from like the like an outside like a third person,
Hmm.
and
Damn.
it's weird how it happens. Like it's like I'm a floating. It's like I'm not even floating, but it's like my view is from like the outside in, and I
That's
see. It's
that's
almost like
like
a
when I fell. Like when my story, when I said I felt I had the out of body experience, it was like me looking down, and it was like it was crazy. It was almost like blurry, like I don't even know how to explain it, but it was me looking down and shit at the whole thing, But I was there. That's crazy, yo. Man, I wouldn't be able to fuck with that, yo. Like talk to ghosts or see ghosts, and like I'll be really fucked up in the game, shit, yo. You and your mom got that power, yo. Y'all could keep that. I don't want no part of that.
no, yeah, it's crazy too because like but I would say lately, I feel personally like I've kind of cut myself off from it because I feel like if I would embrace it more or if I would like really like not practice but maybe be more in tune with it,
Yeah.
I could definitely be like way more advanced into it. But I feel personally like I've cut myself off from it because I feel no purpose in it. I don't know. It just comes to me now. Like I could walk into a place and I just know like instantly I'm like, oh, there's something here. Like
Mm.
right away, and it
That's like
doesn't
how
feel
your
good.
mom was, man.
But what's
Well,
crazy is that I pick up more. I could sense right away if it's bad, then it's
mm,
good. Instantly, like if it's bad, I just know like right away. Or if it's like
that's what I'm
a
saying.
spirit trying to get in contact with me and trying to do like tell me something, I see it in pictures. I
Mhm.
don't really hear it in words like that. I see like I guess like visions or pictures in my head.
And that's like, yeah, I love that shit. Like, I'm really into that. I wish that
That's kind of how I
some way I
feel.
could talk to my parents. But they always say the same thing. They get the messages in images and shit, that like the images are trying to paint a picture of what to say or whatever they try to relay and shit is all in pictures and
Hey,
images.
what's crazy too is like if somebody would tell me a story, I don't. It's like if someone would tell me a story, it's like I could see what happened to you vividly in my head. It's weird. It's like it just comes to me in like pictures. I don't know. It's weird. It's like I paint that shit out very well.
Yeah. I feel you on that and shit, yeah. I'm gonna get your mom on here, yeah. On she's gonna get in on Zoom. I want y'all to because she kind of helped you with
Well,
accepting
actually,
it
yeah,
and
she
getting
helped me a
it.
lot because I was having. There was a time too where I was having like real bad nightmares and stuff like that too, and it was happening like every night. It would be like cold sweat nightmares and stuff like that because I felt like it was a bunch of spirits trying to get in to try to talk to me, but like it wasn't good. It was straight bad, and I just didn't know how to deal with it because it was getting. I felt like it was getting too strong for me to handle.
Damn, man. Like that's yeah, that's crazy. Now I know you had other stories too. You had other encounters. You got a little short one while your mom gets set up.
Yeah, here. Well, let me see.
Your girls there? Tell us what's up if she's there.
Hi.
Hey,
She,
yeah,
Sorry,
we
I'm just
got
listening.
we got to get you in on here too.
I don't see ghosts because I'm really scared. So
Yeah, I don't fuck with that either. We on the same boat. They can have that shit. I don't want that
okay,
shit.
let me see.
Yeah, mom
There,
fucked me up when she came to my house and said she seen some shit in there or she had a bad energy. Man, she had me throwing rice in the corners and doing crazy shit like that. Yeah.
hey man, that stuff's real. That you know what's crazy is that yeah, I look into all that shit. I'm like, that stuff is real as hell, man. Okay,
I,
so I got one little quick story. So
okay.
all right, so I know that everybody's heard of that show Supernatural, right? You've heard of the show
Yeah. Yeah.
Supernatural.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So there was one time where
Great show.
I was like hella into that show because some of that stuff they have some truths in that show, you know.
Okay.
So I started looking into it and stuff like that. I started looking into it like heavily, and I felt like that was when I was kind of like more in tune with the whole, I would say clairvoyance too, whatever
Uh,
too. So the more I say I learned about it, the more knowledge I got, not only good but positive, because you know you gotta learn both sides.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
Well, I feel like once I started learning more of the negative, and that's when I started feeling like energies and like weird stuff like really happen. Like I would try to like to close my eyes and stuff like that, and I would just feel a bunch of just negative energy, like if it was just zooming past me,
Mhm.
like back and forth all the time. And that's when I realized like literally what you open up your mind to, especially for me, I feel like it's more like um I don't know. I guess it's more that cling on. Yeah, it clings on more, I guess, to me. But like that shit's
So
weird.
so basically that shit is true, yo. What you put out there is what you get in and shit, yo. So if you started thinking about the negative, you opened up to the negative and
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
because like I was really like looking into it,
Here go your mom. Let me switch up my view real quick.
like because I was getting more into like the angels and the demons aspect of it.
Yeah. Oh, damn. All right. Well, there's not littles from the block. Well. So you actually like the fucking gatekeeper and shit, yeah. All
I look
right.
so
Well,
busted,
real
but
quick,
whatever.
introduce yourself just in case.
Lisette, aka Designs by L Cruz, the one and only,
AKA,
aka that chick.
AKA, littles from the
You
block.
already know, Littles from the Block.
Hey, who is this gentleman in the next screen over here to you? What is his relation to you?
That is my baby boy.
Show baby boy.
That's my baby boy.
Yeah. All right, yo. So do a quick recap, just a little backstory on you, so we can get caught up on you.
So he's talking about basically his first experience.
When did you start seeing it in him?
Oh, I already, I didn't start seeing anything. I just knew as soon as he was born that he was actually gonna have everything. So since he was little, I've always told him, listen, you're gonna be powerful. You're gonna be sensitive. You're gonna be this. You're gonna be that. You're gonna feel this. If you have any questions, let me know. Whatever. So I always put it in his head, whether he probably thought I was cuckoo or not. You know what I'm saying?
Anthony,
And
what did you think about it when she was telling you this? Did you think she was bugging and shit? Like,
In my head, I thought in my head I was like, man, they have to be practicing some type of witchcraft. I'm like there had to be some witchcraft down the line or something.
brujeria.
right? I mean, it's so crazy because with Anthony, I'm gonna tell you how man, when I got
Sarah,
pregnant,
professional. Carry on. I'm listening.
look, the day I got
I'm listening.
pregnant, I knew. I said, oh my God, I'm pregnant. His dad was like, what the hell? I was like, I'm pregnant.
Didn't that
Sure
happen on
enough,
the Omen too?
right. Sure enough, I was pregnant. So Anthony was due May 5th. I was sitting there and with Asia from the block. I was in Carla's room and I was like, you know what? I'm going to have this baby early. Anthony was due May 5th. I said, I'm going to have this baby April 19th.
Oh shit.
Sure enough, I had him April 19th. I knew he was a boy. I went to take the sonogram, and he was praying on his knees. That's what the doctor said. He was praying. So I didn't know,
We were supposed
you
to put
know,
you down, Anthony.
by the doctor what I was having. I just knew I was having a boy. So we've
We
always
can't just
had
go
this.
past this, yeah. He was
No,
sitting
I'm
there
just saying
praying and
we
shit,
always just
y'all.
had this crazy
Nothing was like, yo,
connection
hold up, this
since
nigga
then.
is fond of something. No, nothing told you like we might have to put him down, yo. He's gonna change the
Nah,
world.
yo.
He's gonna take over and shit. We
No.
watched enough movies by then and shit, yo. Look, see? He's an X-Men and shit. All right, go ahead.
So I just feel like we always had this crazy connection. Like Anthony, you remember how you be in Cali, and this one time I called you out of nowhere. I was like, "What you doing?" You was like, "Nothing." I said, "Did you do your homework?" You said, "Yeah." I was like, "No, you didn't." Because I'm sitting there in my living room. I'm in Atlanta. He's in Cali.
Mom stuff right there.
Look,
That's mom powers.
no, he's in Cali, right? So I'm sitting there, and something kept telling me, I swear, Anthony didn't do his homework. So I'm just like, whatever. Like, what the fuck? Okay, whatever. But it kept bugging me and telling me Anthony didn't do his homework. Anthony didn't do his
Snitch, huh?
homework. So I called them, and that's when I told him. I said, "No, you didn't." He was like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "Do your homework, boy." It's just so much stuff that, I mean, sometimes they'll just tell me, "Call Anthony. Call Anthony. Something's wrong." And I will call him. Sure enough, something will be wrong.
Mm, mm, mm.
Remember that one time I called you and described everything you was feeling? And you was like, "How did you know, Mom?" I was like, "I know."
So Anthony, do you think you got better powers than your mom, man?
He does.
But yeah,
Y'all should just have like a off right now, yo. Just both of y'all stay at the camera.
Mm, mm. Can
Anthony
you
would
do
have been
right
did
by
that shit
me?
years ago, yo. You know what,
mom
mom?
like,
Boom.
like
My nose start bleeding.
Yeah, yeah. Stop it, Anthony.
Stop. You can't. You're hurting me.
That's
hey,
how
you
it
know what,
happens.
Mom? I think you should just admit it right here on camera. You practice witchcraft.
Not even.
What about them tarot cards?
I don't even know how to use them.
No, it was the Ouija board. That's what the fuck it was. She done opened Pandora's gate.
Hey, right there, Mom. Yeah, no,
That's
the
what the
funny.
fuck it was, yo. We always playing that shit, man. That shit, yo. I still
Now,
think
we
about this
always had some
shit
stuff
30,
since we
40
was
years
younger.
ago and shit, yo.
Now,
Man.
you know, I always had, like, when people would pass away, I would get a lot of stuff in my dreams. Them people, like when Smokey passed away, he came to me in my dream. When Noelia passed away, she came to me in my dream. And this one, I was mad young. And I used to be like, I mean, the next day I would see them. And, you know, of course, I didn't know how to process none of that stuff. I would just be like, oh my God, what the hell, you know? But I
That's one
will
thing.
always get stuff in my dreams.
My dreams are pretty vivid too.
Did he?
Hmm.
I don't know if you want to share any with with your cousin or any of those. Grandpa, didn't you have like real like contact dreams, like where you spoke with them?
Oh, actually, yeah, with my grandpa. Damn, I forgot about that one.
I
Yeah.
So,
remember all these shits, y'all, because that shit is like whoa to me. Yeah, I
so
remember them.
okay, yeah, with my grandpa had a So the crazy part, so I was at work in the morning, and like I talked to my grandpa because we were gonna work on my car. So I was gonna go there after work and stuff like that. And then I get a call from my dad. Was like, oh, grandpa had a stroke. He's in the hospital. And I'm not at work, not thinking nothing of it. Cause I'm like, man, people survive from stroke, like, strokes, nothing. I didn't really know what a stroke was, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I go on with my day, thinking nothing of it, finish my shift. I'm on my way to the hospital, I'm thinking I'm about to go there. My grandpa's cool. And then, like, come to find out, basically, they have him on, like, kind of like life support in a way. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, that shit was just crazy.
Yeah.
And then, like, a couple days go by. No, that night, actually, I had a dream about him. And it was like I seen him, and there was like a big old white light around, and like he was like on his little hospital bed,
Mhm.
and he was just telling me, like he doesn't like the fact that they keep on moving his legs and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and that he's already passed on, and that he passed away like that day and stuff like that. And like I already knew he passed on
Damn.
because he told me. He was like, I'm in a better place, like and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And I kept on telling everybody in my family, but they didn't want to hear it and stuff like that. And then I come
So
to
you
find out,
said after that night, he was still in the hospital on the machines, but he told
oh, yeah,
you he was already
they kept
gone,
him
but
on,
they still had him on the machines?
they kept him
Mhm.
on life support for like a good, I can't remember, like a week or two,
Like a week.
a
After
week.
you had this dream?
Yeah, but the
Damn.
same day that he had the stroke, that
Damn.
night I had that dream, and he basically told me like he passed away already.
Damn, yo.
And another
And
thing,
you know, when he was on life support, it was basically he was a vegetable. Like
yeah,
the machine was breathing for him and everything. So in reality, he did pass away.
Yeah.
yeah, So and then with my younger cousin, I got off from, it's crazy too with that one. I got off
Yeah.
from work real late because I never do. I decided to stay at work late. I don't know why I did. I just did. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go record some music. I have like, I just gotta go record with my friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm already running late, so I get there. I see my cousin in a car. I've never seen him before and stuff like that. And he was like, "Hey man, like, you got time? Like, I want to smoke all my weed with you and stuff like that." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "You never want to do that. Like, you're always trying to skimp everybody else, you know." And then I was like, "All right, whatever. I'll make time, you know." And then we started talking, smoking. He was trying to tell me like, "Hey man, I started praying more. I want to get sober. I want to this and that." Mind you, he's only like 18 years old.
Yeah.
And he's all like, like I want to get better and I want to do this and that and stuff like that. And he has this girlfriend that I didn't like, nobody liked, but I was like, you know what, like I'll accept this. I'll accept his girl for you because I love you and stuff like that. And I did that in front of him so he could be, happy
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Then randomly he started apologizing to me for like everything he's done to me, all the stuff he stole from me and all that stuff. I'm like, man, he's acting weird as hell,
So you
And
think
all
you
of a sudden,
felt it coming? Yeah.
I don't know, maybe he felt like, and then like something was up with his car. He was like, oh, I'm gonna go ask my grandpa. I remember his girl at the time was like, nah, man, try to fix that shit yourself. Like, be a man, da da da. Because she was trying to steer him away from like my grandpa and everybody at the house
Yeah.
and shit like that, So anyway, he was like, hey, man, let me take you to where you're going. Like, I'll drop you off, because I just got this car and stuff. And I thought about it and I was like, I was gonna let him do it. And I was like, nah, like, I'm gonna just drive myself, because I'm gonna take the streets. You want to take the freeway, so yeah, I'm just gonna go. He was like, oh, all right, whatever. And we hugged each other, and we like hugged each other longer than usual. And we said we loved each other, and then maybe like 15 minutes after that, he passes away.
Damn.
He ended up, I guess, there's something malfunctioned on the car, and they flew off the freeway. But he wasn't the driver though; it was his girl that was the driver. I remember too before. Like they left, like they were getting into an argument and shit like that, and
Yeah.
she was like being real spiteful towards him and shit.
Yeah.
But it was weird because the coroners and everybody said like when they flew off the freeway, um, they said, I forgot what they said. They said that the way everything was, like they had to have had like an altercation in the car. Like
They were
there's no
probably
way.
fighting in the car.
There's no way that the car just randomly just went off the freeway. They said that she had to have did that.
Turned
You
it
know?
Like pulled the wheel.
That she did on
Yeah.
purpose. And, it wouldn't go over my head because she was being real spiteful towards them and shit like that, and was saying like, "Oh, you don't think I'll do that shit," type of stuff, And I think to myself, like, I remember for a long time I was like, "Damn, if I would have went with them, we for sure would have took the street, would have went a different way, because I would have fucking made sure we went my way instead of his way, because I know how I am."
Or you
know,
could
I-
have been in the back seat of that car.
I could have been in the backseat of the car. But my thing too is like I know for a fact if I would have been in the car the way he is, he would have been driving because no way he would have let her drive. And that's the crazy. But I just think so many times I'm like, man,
Man,
so
there's
many
a lot of
things
what ifs,
played out.
but there's
But
nothing.
anyway, so that happens, right?
Yeah.
That was a little backstory of it. And like a few nights later, I get a dream, and like it's like everything behind me is like regular. It's like I'm not even asleep. I'm at my grandma's house, and I see him pull up on a bike, like regular, like he always would. And I run up to him, crying, hugging him. I'm like, damn, man, you're here. I'm like, you're alive. Like, what the hell, And he's looking at me. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm not dead. I'm like, I'm not dead. What are you talking about? Why you keep on saying I'm dead? I'm not dead. So I come to the conclusion that he didn't know that he passed away. And then I would get dreams about him saying like he's lost. He would tell me like I'm lost. I feel lost. I don't know where I'm at. And then it took a while, and finally he told me that he passed on. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Like he's happy. But like for a long time, I remember he would come to me and telling me that he's lost. I would get dreams where he would tell me that like, oh, like you abandoned me. Like you, like what's wrong with like, why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you doing this? Because at a time, I didn't vent or I didn't mourn. I took everything and pushed it down, and I was ignoring my clairvoyancy, and I kind of cut it off.
Yeah.
So like finally, like I guess he was kind of like breaking through in my dream, telling me like why are you abandoning me? Why are you ignoring me? Type of thing, And it was like he felt lost, and I felt bad at the time. Like I'm doing this, and what if he doesn't know and he's dealing with it by himself? It's weird shit. Like I would get like random things, and he would always tell me like or I would get dreams of people that passed on, and they wouldn't even say anything. They either just give me a look and smile or do stuff, and you would never get words out of them, ever. You could say stuff to them, but they never.
But you felt like did you feel like what they were feeling and shit? Like
I'm saying,
or
like,
you'll just see them and they'll just smile at you, or did you feel their presence?
Sometimes I get dialogue from them, which is rare. And when you do get dialogue from them, you don't remember what the hell they said. And that's the worst part. You live in the moment on that one. But there's times you get the dialogue and you're like, wow, I guess I remember that because I'm supposed to remember that shit.
Because there's a message.
Yeah, but for like the longest with my cousin, he was telling me like I'm lost. I remember he was telling me too exactly what happened, like with the car and stuff like that too. Like he told me exactly. I remember he told me exactly what happened before.
You can work with the police. I mean, no snitching, yo. But nah, you could like to help find kids and stuff like that. Like you could probably like if you really tapped into this shit, man, that might be your real calling right there, man. You could be saving lives across the world, man. You never know.
So, do you remember the dream you had with with our mother in it, your grandmother?
Oh man,
that
one was weird too. Okay, so the reason why I had that dream because at the time I think the girlfriend I was dating, she was either pregnant. I forget, she was something like that.
Hold up, pause on that. Yeah, pause on that. Let's let everybody know my mom passed away before you was even born, so you never even met her, never seen her in person. This was
before he tells that story. Let me tell you the dream I had with mommy, because when I was pregnant, she passed away. I was I'd say about maybe 8 months pregnant.
Great timing, huh?
Right?
Great timing. Right.
Look, so I was 8 months pregnant, and I was so upset because this was her first grandchild, and I went back to New York so that she can see her grandchild, and she passed away. And
you went to the hospital. You was the one that actually found. They told you she expired.
My mom, our mother, mommy gave me money for Anthony's first outfit to bring him home. So I went and I bought one, and I went to go show it to her. So when I went to go show it to her, I go to the hospital, and they were like, oh, she expired. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm walking away, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean? So I was like, excuse me. I was like, what is expired? They were like, she's dead. She passed away. And I was like, oh, okay. And it still didn't hit me. So I caught a cab, and I'm crying. This dude thought my man kicked me out because I had all mommy's belongings in a bag and everything. But anyway, so fast forward, like I always, was like, damn, my mother didn't get to see my son born and blah, blah, blah. One day when it was me and Anthony, in California. Anthony was a newborn still. He was still a baby.
Mhm.
And I had this one dream because, you know, it was always in my head. Damn, my mom didn't get to see it. So my mom, mommy wrote me a letter, and I never forget. It says, "To my dearest daughter, I see him. He's beautiful. Don't worry about me anymore. I'm in a happy place." She said, "I'm at peace." And it said, "Love, Mom."
And this was in the dream. You seen a letter, full blown letter.
And when I woke up, I never felt bad again. It was like something was lifted from me. Like, okay, my mother told me, like, I'm good now. I see him.
Yeah,
And ever since then, I just never worried about it again.
well, that's
So
good
then,
validation right
going
there.
to your dream, yeah, it was just,
All right, we
that
didn't
was a
mean to
lot.
cut you off and put that in there, but
That's cool.
need the
Backstory.
backstory, yeah. Need the backstory.
Yeah.
So again, you've never met my mom, and you had this dream.
Yeah, never. So I remember, like in my dream, it's like dark, and it's like at this bus stop and stuff like that, and I'm waiting for the bus. I remember like there's this like lady there, and she was just like staring at me. You know, she was like short, she had glasses on and stuff like that, and like this lady was just like staring at me and kind of like smiling a little bit. I remember in my dream, like I was starting to bug out a little bit. I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck you looking at? Like, what you staring at? Man? Like, you're creeping me out. Like, I'm getting scared. It's dark. You're looking at me. I remember, and I remember she just like walks up to me and was like, everything's gonna be okay. Like, it's all gonna be okay. And I'm just like, man, what do you mean? Like, what the hell? Like, in my dream, I'm like, what the hell is the lady talking about?
Yeah.
She's telling me everything's gonna be okay. That's all she
Damn.
kept on saying. It's gonna be okay. And it was like, and then if I'm not mistaken, I think I think, mom, I can't remember.
She said, "I know you." And you was like, "You don't know
Yeah,
me."
see, I'm a little high right now. My bad.
See, it was
Sorry,
that
like,
last hit you just took, yeah.
I really, I'm kind of stuck a little bit. So, mom, take it away.
So he told me that I remember this because I was just like in shock. She was staring at him, and he gets pissed, and he was like, what the fuck you looking at or whatever?" And she was like, "I know you." And he was like, "You don't know me." She said, "I know everything about you." And he was like, "You don't fucking know me." And she was like, "I know your mother." And from there, you said that you felt like you knew who she was then. And
Yeah.
she told you to stop whatever it is that you was doing at that time.
You
I
lucky
don't
she'll
know.
slap your ass in the dream, yeah.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how old were you at that time?
Like 18.
18? Damn.
You remember what you was doing at that time? Because my mother knew. And she said, "You better stop what you're doing."
It was at that time I told you where that girl got pregnant.
What?
Yeah.
This is my
That wasn't his. Hello, let's
Oh,
clarify that.
okay. I thought this was some Usher shit going down. All right. So it was a wild time in your life and shit, and she came to your dream like, "Motherfucker, you better chill the fuck out. I know who you are.
Basically,
I know who your mom is." And
hey,
you,
damn, I was gonna leave out all those details. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I remember that vividly.
that's
Thank you
crazy,
for
yeah.
that.
That's crazy. I'm glad I mean, I'm cool on all that, yeah. The letter, I'm cool
Um,
with the letter. You can write me a letter. I'll see a letter and shit, yeah. I'm cool with that, yeah. As long as there ain't no hands attached to that letter, yeah. I'm good. I don't
right?
need to see anything else, yeah. My
So,
my shit is I think of shit, yo, it's so crazy. Like I'll think of something, boom, it'll be a commercial about it. Or I'll be thinking about a person, boom, they'll call me and shit, yo. Or it's so crazy, yo. It's like instantly too, yo. Instantly. I wish I could think of some lotto numbers and shit and it pop up, but nah.
Hey, for real, right?
It's
Oh, hey,
random shit, yo.
check this out though. Okay, so you speaking of Lotto, right? Tell me why. I had a dream. I remember, man. I called my dad up and I was like, I'm like, we gonna be rich. We gonna be rich. So I had a dream that I don't play the Lotto. Never have.
Yeah.
Never. I'm like, it's a waste of money to me. I'm like, I don't. Never have. So I'm like, it was one that I think the over here was like $1 billion, $2 billion or something like that. I think it was a super lotto where all the states are combined or
Yeah.
whatever. And I had a dream about some numbers, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn. I'm like, I remember those numbers vividly. So I was like, I'm gonna play these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you call it? I guess my dumbass, I wrote the numbers down, right?
Yeah.
But I ended up losing the paper,
This
you know. In my
was
car
our
though, I lost it in my
future.
car. Yeah, I lost it in the car.
Ooh.
So
Right.
they could have
Could be rich.
Cut off,
they,
yo.
they could have made a movie about this, right? But I lost the paper in my car. So I'm like, damn, man. So I go inside. I get a quick pick. I'm like, whatever. Shoot me the numbers. I end up finding the paper in my car. The same numbers that were on the paper were on my lotto ticket thing.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
call my dad and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's destined. These numbers were in my dream. I got a quick pick. I'm like, I got a quick pick of this. And like, so it's coming, right? The first three numbers hit. I was like,
start
oh
maxing
my
out the
gosh.
credit
I'm
cards
like,
right there.
I was telling my dad, I'm like, I'm going to cry. And then the rest of the numbers were off by like one or two
Damn.
each one.
Oof.
I was like, man, I'm like, well, at least I went with it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like
Hell yeah, yo.
I-
Every time
thing
you
is,
do this shit, yeah.
I
Every
got
time.
the numbers that were in my dream and I lost the paper and I still ended up getting the exact numbers.
That's
So for
crazy,
me, I was
yeah.
like, it was destined.
That's the family luck right there. You know that, right? That's the family
Sophie
luck.
did that too, remember?
That's the oh, let's touch on this a little bit, y'all. That's the fucking family luck. Lose the paper, find the paper, get the hope. First three numbers come out, and then the rest of them is off by a little bit, yeah. The family luck, yeah. The curse of the family, yeah.
For real.
Yeah. I need to burn some sage or something, yeah. What the fuck, man? All right, yeah. Man, well, let's
What
wrap this
about
shit
that
up,
one
man.
story, Anthony, where you was in your friend's backyard and you kept seeing in the house the man and that boy?
What?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's where I used to record. It was like an
Man,
old
I'm in the
house.
garage and shit, yeah.
Um,
Is this a creepy one, yeah?
a little bit. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah,
I
it
thought
was
you
like,
paused it.
Me
I thought the
too.
screen froze.
I was like,
Yeah, I thought the screen froze. I was about to start pressing buttons and shit.
anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Yes.
no, so the house is old, and the house always has just has a weird, eerie vibe to it, and stuff like that. And my friend would always say he's seen like some weird. He would say like there's demons in his house, like it's weird like that. He was always scared, but he always stood in his house because he had nowhere to go
Yeah.
or else to stay. So he was one of those people where like he knows he needs to get out, but there's nowhere else to go.
Nah,
really.
hell no. I'll live
know?
on the fucking bridge
So-
and shit, yo, before I live in a haunted house, yo. Fuck that. Nah, hell no. Hell
So
no.
I remember I would always be in his house, and I would always tell him like, "Hey man, I always feel a male presence in this house, man. And it always feels weird. Like it's always like questioning me, like why I'm here. I always get that vibe, like why am I here, type of thing, you know." So I got to a point where we're outside and I'm smoking. I look inside his house and I just see like a figure of a man just standing there, dark figure of a man, and like I'm ignoring it. I'm like I don't want to give it no attention, you know, because I just want to keep on doing what I'm doing, and call it a day. And all of a sudden it's gone. And then I see this little boy just keep on like running past.
Ah, see, nah.
And I told my homie, I'm like, hey,
Yo, hold
have
on,
you ever
hold on.
seen a little boy?
Yo, stop
I was
playing.
like, have you ever seen a little boy in your house? Have you ever seen a little boy running in your house and shit like that? Like, what's the deal with that? I was like, oh yeah, man, my grandma told me about that shit. I guess a little boy died
Ah, man, see.
there before, or whatever. And he would tell me that the man used to be his grandpa, or he assumed that it would be his grandpa, because the grandma stays at the house.
See.
But I tell him, I'm like, I don't think that's your grandpa, man, because that's,
Yeah, yeah. I don't think
that's a
so.
dark ass, I'm like, the energy of him is just weird. Because I've even stood the night at his house, and he has like a little den, and that's where I would see the man.
See.
And I stood the night there because I couldn't drive home. And I remember the whole night sleeping, I just seen the man in the corner just like staring.
Ah,
And I'm
man,
just like,
okay.
oh man.
what
we
did he
gonna
look
wrap-
like?
Whoa. We're gonna wrap this one up. I'm in the fucking
Describe,
basement here alone and
describe
shit,
that
yo.
man.
Ah.
Huh?
What did that man look like?
I don't know. I can't really describe him. It was just this silhouette of a man in a dark mask.
See. Mm-mm.
I just knew when it was a dark mask. Like there's times where like I know it's there and I feel that it's there and I think it knows I know it's there. I just ignore it.
They do know, you know,
Ignore it. Just like oh shit. I'm like I don't try to give it no fear, even though my heart like whenever I get scared when it comes to something paranormal, I feel like the energy in me gets sucked out of me and I can't move. So I try to not give it no attention, even though I know it's there. And I know it knows I know it's there. I'm like I can't do it. I can't do it. Ignore it. Ignore it. That's
sometimes
my
you gotta just set the boundaries, and you gotta tell them, leave me alone, just leave me alone.
Leave me
Like they
alone.
know, you know,
Leave
but
me.
you always gotta tell them, leave me alone. Because they only really come in if you let it in. Some will, like that girl, she forced her way in because she was like, look, I'm getting this message out, period. Like they
yeah.
are nagging
Did they
ones.
say she had that type of personality?
Yes. Yes. A
Okay.
controlling type of personality.
That's crazy, yeah.
You know, and she was like, yeah, I felt like she was like trying to make me like love her, like and like know her and everything.
Do you
And
remember
especially,
you called me?
yeah,
He forgot that part because when if he first saw the girl, I'm at work and he calls me. He was like, "Mom, it's happening." I'm like, what's
Today
happening?"
is the day.
Right? I know. I think he even said that. I was like, he said, "This is the day you've been
The
preparing me
lighting
for." I'm
too.
like,
The lighting is great for this. Take a picture of this if you can. Yeah. All right,
"You
yeah.
stupid."
I'll
I'm
do a
like,
screenshot. Yeah.
"What are you talking about?" So he was like, "Mom, I'm at this funeral and I see this girl." And I was like, "Oh, snap. It's happening. Today's the day." So I'm like excited, like, yes, he's coming into his powers, you know? So I'm like, all right. I said, Anthony, look, just calm down and just listen to her. See what she has to tell you. So then he was like, all right. So he goes back in. He calls me again. He was like, Mom, she won't leave me alone. She's giving me these messages. And so I said, look, Anthony, I said, it's up to you. If you feel comfortable enough to give these messages, I said, you do that. If you don't feel comfortable, then don't. I said, you got to understand, people are not going to believe you. They're going to think you're
Yeah.
crazy.
That could have went
So,
horribly wrong. Yeah.
it could
exactly.
have. It really could
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So
could
I
have like
said,
ruined the
if you
whole
feel
fucking funeral and shit.
comfortable,
Like it could have really went bad. Yeah. I'm
right.
glad it
So I
went.
just told him, look, if you feel that comfortable, you give the messages.
Yeah.
And guess my son, of course, felt comfortable.
We
I
gotta
know the
do
thing
one
is
with
like
you too, Lee.
I really didn't feel that comfortable doing it. It's just like she wouldn't leave me alone.
That's
Like,
crazy.
and I remember telling these people, I'm like, look, it's gonna sound crazy. I know you don't know me. This ain't no TV shit or
Yeah.
but they believe me though. And it's crazy to this day, like I still have people wanting me like to go to their houses to see if their houses are haunted and stuff like that. Like these one people paid me like $50 to do it and I did it. And their house was
Yeah,
haunted as
but
hell
you,
too. I got
Yo,
let me
given
tell you
keys.
something.
if you just real quick, if you come here, don't fucking tell me nothing. I don't want to know. I don't give a fuck if you see a vampire standing behind me. As long as it can't touch me and shit, yo, I don't want to know nothing about this shit at all, yo. All right, carry on, yo.
The thing with doing that, I don't advise you to do that, whether they pay you or not, because they can attach to you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so check this out, right? Speaking of that, right?
creep me out, yo.
So after the last house that I did, right? I found out a lot of stuff. It was a brother and a sister looking for their mother
Jesus.
and stuff like that. And they came, they were colonizers. It was weird. Like I found out all this stuff,
Mm.
you know? And ever since then,
Oh shit. Ah, I forgot Jax was here, yo. This motherfucker
You're
just
freaked
emerged the
out.
shit out of behind the desk, shit, yo. I was like, ah, this is it. This is it. Me, this is it. All right, come here, Jax. I'm glad you got here, actually, yo. Ooh, I'm glad you're here. Come here.
but
I love you. All right, go ahead.
ever since that last house that I did, like there hasn't been really that much activity ever really at my girl's house. But ever since then, there's been more and more activity here than
See?
before. You know?
You got to burn some sage, man. Put some salt
No,
in
we
the
have.
oil, you know?
We sage the house like maybe like once like a week, or once every twice, maybe a week.
See, but it's not attached to the house, it's attached to you. Because you have to be careful that you have to clear yourself whenever you go somewhere and things like that, because you're so sensitive that everything's gonna attach. Like, you ever get feelings that's not even your feelings?
Yeah, all the time.
You get sad and you be like, I'm not even sad. Why am I sad?
Hmm.
That's not your feelings.
There's times too. What's weird too is as I'm getting older, I'm noticing too that, like, say if I'm in a group of people, um, like I could feel like what that person's like really feeling. It's weird. Like, I'm starting to realize that now. Like, it's like I could start feeling, I guess,
Their
people's
emotions.
emotions or like their auras. I don't know.
Let
what
me
it
ask you
is.
this. I was gonna ask you something about that. I knew a dude that said he used to see people's auras, like the colors around them and shit like that. You know, like auras. Have you ever seen any shit like that? Yeah. Like
I
around
have.
somebody, you ever looked at somebody seen like their aura or something?
Not really, but what's crazy is that, like, one time I tested something with my girlfriend Alex, and I had her basically, like, I held her hands,
Hmm.
and I was like, "All right, I want you to think of something like real hard." I just wanted to try it out. I was like, think of something real hard. I'm like, I want to see if I could feed off of you. 'Cause I could feed her emotions right away as soon as I touched her, and I wanted to see what type of type of feel she was feeling for, right?
Hmm.
And right away, instantly, like, I felt exactly. I guess I told her exactly what she was feeling, what she was thinking about, and stuff like that. And I remember she snatched her hands away from me, like, "What the hell? Like, don't do that." I'm like, "Dude," I'm like, I feel like the more in tune I get with it, it's stronger. But moral of the story is, I was in a circle of people, and there was this one girl. Out of everybody was happy, having a good time, and you could tell that. Well, no one could tell, but I could tell that she was sad. Deep down inside, I'm like, she was sad heavily, and I'm like, I feel instantly sad, and everybody looks happy. I'm like, I don't know why I feel
Now,
that
was
way.
she pretending to be happy, but you could feel that
Yeah,
she was really sad? Damn.
yeah, and I was feeling her aura, I was feeling her vibe, her mood, and her energy. It was mostly energy. I felt her energy, and I was just like, damn, dude, like, you're like killing my vibe. So I took her to the side and started talking to her, and instantly, and she was just like, started bawling.
I
I
would
guess
have.
her parents died, and this, and that, and all this stuff. I was like, damn, like, I don't even know you, but I could just tell, and it's
Maybe that's
crazy.
what she needed. Maybe she needed to just bawl and let it out and shit, and maybe that should change her. That could have changed her life. Like that was the whole meaning of what you felt and shit. Yeah.
I
Like
had
you
a
took
story
it on and
similar
just
to
fix
that.
it. Yeah. Huh?
I had a story. I was actually in a
We're gonna do
psychic
your shit, yeah.
class.
All right.
I
Save
was
some for your
actually,
shit, yeah. Because we're gonna do your
huh?
story too. Don't tell all your stories out here because we're gonna do one on
No,
you.
I got a million of them,
Yeah.
but it's the same thing. So I was in a psychic class. It was teaching you how to uh, protect yourself with your white light. So I'm in this class and I went with my homegirl and I'm just like, okay, whatever. And she told me there's gonna be a guy there that is super, super powerful. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever, right?
Mm.
So anyway, there's two rows. I'm in the front row and then there's people in the back, whatever. So I'm sitting there and everybody's chilling or whatever. And all of a sudden, I get the urge to just start bawling.
Oh,
I'm talking about I'm over here wiping like my little tears. Like, why am I crying? Yo, what is this energy? So I kept looking around at everybody, and the lady behind me was giving off this energy. So I kept looking at her, and I couldn't breathe, and I was just like, man, this lady is sad. Like I'm literally feeling what she's feeling. So I said it out loud in the class. I said, look, I said, there's somebody here that's very sad and you're killing me right now. So it ended up being the lady behind me. I forgot what she said. It was something about her son.
yeah.
I mean, we can honestly feel it, but you have to realize that it's not your feelings. It's not what you're feeling. The guy that was there that was powerful, yo, I'm sitting there in the class, right? And I'm over here like, man, I just want to touch this dude. I have to touch his hands. They told me to make this dude go like this and put for me to put my hands on top of him. And I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at him the whole time across the room, like, we haven't even been introduced, whatever. So the class is over. And I was like, excuse me. I was like, hi. I was like, I only sat. I was like, I have to touch your hands. He was just like, oh, okay. Yo, when I put my hands on him, it was the weirdest freaking feeling I ever felt. But I still, to this day, don't know why I had to do that. Like, I touched his hands. I felt what I felt. And then I was like, okay, and I gotta go.
What the fuck did you feel, yo? I mean,
It was this weird energy. Like I was drawn to this dude and I had to touch him, but I don't know why. And I don't understand it to this day, why I had to do that. Like, I wasn't gonna let this dude walk out that building without me doing that, because it kept bugging me to do that. You have to do that. You have to do that. I don't know if it was an exchange of energy or that I was supposed to touch this man's hands like that, but it was just the weirdest thing.
Hey, Mom, have you ever seen, like, here's one thing that I feel like is strange, but I've experienced it a few times. Have you ever seen something inside of someone before?
Like what?
Like something like it can either be good or bad. Like you look at somebody and like you see that there's either something with them or something possessing them.
No.
I have.
Wow. You see what I mean? You have like everything.
I remember I remember it scared the shit out of me and I kicked the person out of my house.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Describe it like.
Now that you can tell me, yo, we're gonna get that motherfucker out, yo. See, I'm starting to see shit, yo. I smoke weed. I watch too many movies and shit.
Describe that. What was that like?
Yo. This is how this shit started. I'm glad Jackson's here, yeah.
This will be my last story. Because I feel like this one's creepy as hell. This one's scared out of me.
What the fuck, yo? I don't fuck with this shit, but I get it.
So I remember, I think I was like 20, like now, I think I was 19. No, I think maybe 18. One of the two, 18 or 19. And it was like late. It was like maybe like 1 or 2 in the morning. I invited a female over, and we were just talking, we smoked and stuff like that, and we were going to do our thing, So the garage is dark. And I know my grandma's house is haunted, but it's like, it wasn't anything like, there's nothing bad in my grandma's house, And so, I'm in the garage and stuff like that. And it's going to get a little, I'm going to clean it up here. But, she was on top of me. We're on the couch. And like I'm saying, it's dark in the room, but there's light too, so I could see. And like, it got to a point where like we just for a split second, like we looked at each other, and like I seen in her completely like somebody else.
Hold on, rewind.
Like I seen something like
you kind of faded out there. Rewind a little bit. You say both of y'all looked at each other. What?
Okay, so like I said, like it was dark. It was dark in there, but there was like the light from the TV, basically. So there was like light behind her, but I could see her face, but it was like a little shadow.
Yeah.
So we're both making eye contact, and all of a sudden, when I look at her, it looks like I see her face, but it's like not her face. It's something very scary, and it looked like, honestly, the best way I could describe it, looked demonic.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember looking at her in that split second, and I seen that, and I remember looking at her, and I like backed up, and it didn't change until like as soon as I turned on the light, like her face went normal. And I know I wasn't tripping. I'm like, dude, like I could see your face, and that was not you. And I remember legit.
What did she say about this shit? Yeah.
I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her what I saw.
She didn't see you freak the fuck out, though?
She did, but she didn't really question anything. I told her, I was like, I think
she was a fucking demon if she didn't question that shit at all, yeah. Like that shit happens on the regular.
And that happened, and I was just like, man, like that was the first time that ever happened right there.
What did you tell her? Did you say, get out?
Yeah, she did. She walked home at like 2 a.m.
Oh man. I mean, rightfully so.
I was so scared that like I didn't know how to react, but just tell her just to get out. I was just like, because I never seen that before. Like, I legit seen something like inside of her that was not her. Like, and it was weird because I felt like weird energy from her too. And I was like, man, I'm like, there's something off about you. You
Yeah.
know, like you haven't been acting yourself. You know, and stuff like that. And then when
So
I
you
seen that,
knew her prior, like you had a
yeah. So I knew her
friendship?
prior,
Oh,
yeah, and stuff like that. And then she started acting weird. And then yeah, I seen that, and I was like, what? Like, and that was the first time I seen witness like something like that. So I know this other person, and he's known. You know, they said that like his girlfriend was like, "Hey man, like this dude has she says he has multiple personalities, and she's seen it. Like he changes, you know." And I'm
see,
like, nah. I'm like that's called being like schizophrenic or something like that, you know. I'm not thinking nothing of it. And she was like, nah. Like she was like, it's like some spiritual, like supernatural type shit. I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, you're tripping. So one day, I was just at their house chilling because she was like, man, you have to witness this shit for yourself. I'm like, all right. I'm like, whatever. So I go, and he's a cool guy, very cool, down to earth person. He's all talking to me, like we're all smoking and stuff like that. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the room real quick.
Hmm.
So he goes to the room and he comes back out, and when I see him, it's like a completely different person. And I looked at him and I was like, oh shit. Like I seen when I looked at him, his face the same way as like when I seen that girl. It looked like a demonic face, and I was just like,
Oh
"What
my
the
God.
fuck?" And that's when I started realizing like the energy in the house was started getting weird. I started feeling pressure on my body. I'm just like started getting this eerie feeling. And I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, I remember I think I left like right away. I was just like, "Nah, I gotta get out of here." I'm like, "Fuck that! I don't like any of that demon shit." I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't ever deal with that. I'm like, oh no, I'm gone. Like that's when I say that stuff is real. Like when I was like looking into all that stuff, like that stuff is real.
One thing you can, like you said, we know when it's dark. We know when it's a good.
Right
Nothing's
away.
gonna happen.
Right away. Yeah.
Hmm.
Like, oh
You get
shit.
this with a dark spirit. You get sick to your stomach
Mhm.
and dizzy, like it's sucking,
Your
like
energy.
pressure. Like you can feel the energy just so thick in the room, like it's suffocating, and you want to like pass out. It literally gets you sick to your stomach, like you
Yeah.
want to vomit. That's how bad it is. And if this thing is really strong, I mean, you could almost literally pass out
Yeah.
from the energy.
See, yeah, I don't fuck with shit like that, y'all. I don't fuck with shit like that at all.
It's crazy, and it's crazy too because when you're around somebody else that has like the same type of abilities or even like as strong as you,
Ooh,
like that, you get like a bad headache or you feel like you're about to pass out or you feel pressure on your shoulders.
yes.
That's
Yep,
crazy,
that is
man.
so true. I went to a psychic one time. Trust me, I got so many freaking stories. I'm gonna come on and tell all the Glenn stories and all that. But one time in San Antonio, remember I went to the flea market. I went to this flea market. They had a little psychic thing. My ex was like, "Hey, go see one of them." I was like, "No," and I didn't know damn flea market, right?
Mhm.
So it kept bugging me. So I turned back around and
Hey,
I
shout out to that lady for being a snitch. That's all I gotta say.
Say what?
Shout out to that psychic lady for being a snitch.
Oh
Oh
shit.
yeah, that's right. I forgot that too. So I go back, right? And I'm sitting in the hallway and I'm just there and I'm like sitting on the chair and I'm like, man, whew, I can't breathe. I'm mad dizzy. Like, damn, you know? So I didn't say anything. I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait for this lady because I need to see what she's about. So I go in there, right? And I'm still not saying anything. I feel this energy, her energy and my energy was just so at each other, like boom. It was the feeling, the only way I could describe it is dizziness. Like it was an annoying pressure dizziness. So I'm sitting there, right? And she was shuffling the cards. She said, "Do you have any questions?" And I never asked questions. So I was like, "No, just tell me whatever." So she's sitting there, and I'm over here trying to sit up on this chair because I'm almost passing out because of her energy. She just stops. She said, she said, "You are sensitive." I said, "Yes." She said, I gotta burn this sage to clear this air right now. She said, you are strong. I go, yes. I didn't want to tell you because I wanted to see what you was gonna tell me.
Yeah.
So she burned, as soon as she burned the sage, everything lifted. It was so clear we can actually talk to each other. We can, you know,
Sage, yeah.
just live, you know, in the same space. But when you're in the same room as somebody, you automatically know it's either you feel their energy or you get this feeling like, yo, there's something about this person. I don't know what it is yet, but there's something about this person, and it will bug you until you realize it.
That's crazy. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to smoke one of your fucking Newports down here and shit, you know. I'm glad Jax is down here, even though he probably useless and shit, you know.
Man, I got so many
ass.
stories. I definitely got to come on and tell the story. But the last story, it has to do with Anthony, since he's on here. This same lady, I went back. And the funny thing is she was like, oh, I do kid readings too. So I was like, Anthony, you want to do it or whatever? So we get in the room or whatever. And it's funny because the lady, she's shuffling the cards and she's looking at Anthony like,
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And then she goes, you hurt your elbow, didn't you? And he was like, and he looks at me because I didn't know about this. I was like, you hurt your elbow? She was like, yeah, he fell off his skateboard and hurt his elbow. I was like, why you didn't tell me you hurt your elbow? Anyway, and then she was saying that
you fell off your shit and hurt your elbow?
Yeah, you know, it was dangling from a little thing.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
he hiding this shit?
He was in Cali when that happened.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't tell me.
I was like, how the fuck you hide a dangling ass elbow? Right.
And then she was like, oh, he's doing bad in school and all this. She's like really snitched on him though.
Oh,
and I forgot. You remember anything else she said?
Yeah, she gets stitches, man.
Stitches get stitches, yeah.
I hope her flea market got shut down. That's all I gotta say.
Was there anything else? There was some, it sounds like there's some other deep shit you tried.
She said it was something else, but he has to tell me about it, and I forgot what it was at that time.
What a body.
Hey, you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
You asked me earlier.
Oh shit. Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, yo, this is a long ass fucking video. Y'all creeping me the fuck out. I'm in the
Anthony,
basement.
the remote.
This shit, yo.
What?
We gonna bring your ass back on, yo. What?
You remember the remote?
What, at the house in Alpharetta? Hey, why don't we should have said those houses, man, the apartment in Alpharetta too. Those are some stories.
We gotta come back on and do
we gotta do another one.
4.
Definitely, yeah. Because people like shit like this, yeah. It creeps me the fuck out, yo, but people like shit like this, yeah. Like the stories with you seeing, you know, the friendly one that want to give hugs and stuff like that. I'm cool with that, yeah. Once you start seeing the other ones and shit, I'm looking around, yo.
Theo's not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hugging Jax and shit, yo.
And by the way, this is not my room. This is Christina's room.
That. That's your room.
His daughter's room.
Yo, that's your room, yo. Yeah.
Kind of big.
Hey, well, shit, yo. I really appreciate you coming on and shit, yo. We got the guest appearance and shit, yo. The double feature, yo. We're gonna bring you back on. We definitely gotta bring you back on because I know you got more shit to tell. Even different stories besides this paranormal shit, yo. I know you got some crazy ass stories, yo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
everybody.
Even the one with your
you
job
gotta
recently,
tell about
yo.
that
The job
robbery.
recently one, like, there's so many stories, yeah.
He gotta tell you that story about the robbery in front of when he got robbed. So he'll come back on and tell that one.
Yeah. He got a few, yo.
That one sucks too, man.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure, yo. All right, yo, we gonna wrap this one, yo. I appreciate it. If they only knew, like, subscribe, share your pages and shit, yo. Ooh, ooh. You got something to say? Social media? Anybody? You want to add yourself? No?
Designs by El Cruz. That's on every platform. Snapchat, TikTok, all of that.
Antonio?
Time's a construct. It's a man-made thing. Social media corrupts the mind. That's all I gotta say.
All right, yeah. We gotta edit that shit out. Nah.
Right.
No, we do no edits on here. We'll do edits,
want
yo.
the hype?
You fuck up, yo. You tell some shit. It doesn't matter, yo.
Yeah, I
It
was
is-
gonna ask you. I was gonna be like, man, it's gonna be a long edit for him.
Nah, we good, yo. People watch it, they watch it. They don't, they don't. Fuck it.
Hey, you.
All right,
yeah,
my Pookie Bear.
Ah, I'm still recording, yo.
I told him that he needs to get his own thing on like Shade 405 in New York.
I
or something.
wish, yo. That's the
Like
goal,
a
yo.
video pod- You ever watch like Joe Rogan's podcast?
Yeah, yeah, I watch all that shit. They all got picked up recently and shit, yo. But listen, yo, this is why people need to like, so it could suggest it for somebody else. This is why they need to subscribe. They need to share, yo. Like, I gotta get up to certain numbers to get to certain things to do better.
Yeah,
things, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
of course.
And
One thing
I
is
just need
definitely
people-
promotion. Promotion's the
We've been
hardest thing.
growing. We've been growing, yo.
Yeah.
Since I started back up, yo, like yo. I got like 20, 30 new fucking subscribers in no time, yo. So, steady drip fills the bucket.
For real.
Word.
Appreciate every last one.
Hey, consistency on YouTube feels like
Exactly, yo. That's all it is, this shit, yo. So, this will be dropping soon. If they only knew, over and out. Holla at your boy, yo.